Hello guys, I'm Dever Compensator and welcome to a new video. In the CPU market, we know that from the start, Intel was the leader and many who are not well aware of the CPU market still favored Intel. But the debut of the AMD Ryzen CPUs turned the tables. It became the value for money king in the CPU market, completely destroying Intel in this industry. But Intel still has grip in the mobile CPU market, that is in the manufacturing of laptop CPUs. Hence, we could see most of the high-end and low-end laptops based on Intel CPUs, and AMD CPUs were only used in budget laptops. However, that was the case until recently. With the introduction of the Ryzen 4000 series of laptop CPUs, Intel's taking blows from AMD's offerings. AMD's new lineup of laptop CPUs paved their way into high-end laptops. Thus, we could predict that AMD would soon destroy Intel in the mobile processor market as well. So in this video, we will be learning about what's behind AMD's successful lineup of mobile CPUs. Without further ado, let's get into the video. The AMD 4000 series of mobile processors were unveiled at CES 2020. For those who are not aware of CES, it is a convention which features all the new and innovative products from various technology companies. It is held at Las Vegas in the United States. So let's get back into the video. Compared to the previous gen AMD mobile processors, this new lineup will be based on the Zen 2 architecture, the same architecture that the Ryzen 3000 series desktop CPUs were based on. This means that the Ryzen 4000 series of mobile processors are the first to feature a 7nm design compared to the previous gen Ryzen mobile processors, which came with the 14nm design. So what difference does that make? The answer is simple. The new 7nm architecture gives better performance, and on top of that, it gives more efficiency due to the small transistor size in the 7nm design. This allows for a higher core count as well without consuming a lot of power. These factors made them so special. And plus, these mobile processors allow ultra-thin notebooks to give desktop-class performance with great battery life with no compromise in its form factor. Another fact is that ultra-thin laptops had CPUs that had a limited amount of cores. That totally changed with the 4th gen Ryzen mobile CPUs, as ultra-thin laptops based on these CPUs will come with an astonishing 8 cores and 16 threads. It changed the perspective of ultra-thin laptops, as they now offer performance equal to that of bulky and powerful laptops, including desktops, to be honest. We could see those beastly processors in small laptops like the Asus Zephyrus G14, a 14-inch notebook which came with a Ryzen 9 4900HS mobile processor with an RTX 2060 mobile. Another notebook featuring the Ryzen 4000 series CPU is the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7, another 14-inch notebook but without any dedicated GPU like the Zephyrus G14. It relies on the onboard Radeon graphics coming with the processor. This doesn't mean that they're mostly used for small laptops. They are also used in big laptops such as the Asus TUF A15 and the Asus TUF A17. Here's the lineup of the new 4th gen Ryzen mobile processors. The lineup is classified into two divisions, that is the U series and the H series. The U series offers amazing performance with Radeon graphics for unlimited productivity without any compromise. The H series gives great performance in games and in handling creative workloads, especially in small-sized laptops. So here's the lineup of the 4th gen Ryzen mobile processors. Let's begin with the U division. The U division of mobile processors offer great performance in doing everyday tasks. Thus, they are highly suitable in laptops that are designed to do everyday tasks and not heavy workload. Take a look at the list of the mobile processors under the U category. In this table, we could see all the 5 CPUs that come under the U division. Let's start off with a simple and small explanation, rather than jotting down all the facts and making this part completely boring. With that, let's begin with the low-end CPUs, which are the Ryzen 3 4300U and the Ryzen 5 4500U. These CPUs have a default TDP of 15 watts, with a base clock of 2.7 and 2.3 GHz respectively, and a boost clock of 3.7 and 4 GHz respectively. On top of that, these CPUs have a core and thread count of 4 cores and 4 threads, and 6 cores and 6 threads. Next is the mid-range CPU, that is the Ryzen 5 4600U with 6 cores and 12 threads. It has a default TDP of 15 watts and a base clock of 2.1 GHz and a boost clock of 4 GHz. Last but not the least are the high-end CPUs, which are the Ryzen 7 4700U and the Ryzen 7 4800U with 8 cores and 8 threads, and 8 cores and 16 threads respectively. Both have a base clock of 2 and 1.8 GHz and a boost clock of 4.1 and 4.2 GHz. This is really good considering that the Intel chips offer similar performance but consume more power. Overall, these specs can literally knock off Intel with mere difficulty, but that's not it. Let's take a look at the H division of mobile processors. This division of mobile processors are designed for gamers and content creators. These CPUs astonished everyone with their Geekbench and Cinebench R20 scores. Let's take a look at their lineup. In this table, we could see all the 4 CPUs that come under the H division. Let's begin with the low to mid-range CPU. That is the Ryzen 5 4600H with 6 cores and 12 threads. It has a base clock of 3 GHz and a boost clock of 4 GHz with a default TDP of 45 watts, which is a lot, but these CPUs are made for gamers and content creators. In other words, these CPUs are made to handle heavy workload than that of the U series. Next is the mid to high range CPU, that is a Ryzen 7 4800H, which has 8 cores and 16 threads. It comes with a base clock of 2.9 GHz and a boost clock of 4.2 GHz with a default TDP of 45 watts. Here comes the high-end CPUs, which are the Ryzen 9 4900HS and the Ryzen 9 4900H. Both have the same core and thread count, which is 8 cores and 16 threads. The difference lies in the base clock, boost clock, and the default TDP. So the base clock of the two CPUs are 3 and 3.3 GHz, and both have a boost clock of 4.3 and 4.4 GHz with a default TDP of 35 watts and 35 to 54 watts respectively. These specs are simply monstrous, and in my opinion, no other CPU could match the 4th gen Ryzen mobile platform. Overall, we could see AMD conquering Intel in the mobile CPU market just like they did in the desktop CPU market. AMD are not done yet. Their 4th gen desktop lineup are yet to be unveiled, which would greatly affect Intel even more in that industry. To me, there's nothing that could stop AMD. If that's true, let me know in the comments below. Also, if any one of you have a laptop or a desktop based on the Ryzen platform, feel free to share your experience with me in the comments below. With that, I bring it to the end of the video. I hope my content was useful. If you like my content, show your support by leaving your comment, by sharing, and by subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so that you would be alerted whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care and have a great day.